Show.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you are tuned in from around the world. Welcome to another episode of the Happy Hour Show with your host, Lindsey Vertner. That's me. I'll let you know a little bit more about who I am in a moment. And we have a very, very super special guest tonight. I'm going to introduce her in a second as well. But first, we got to take care of a little bit of housekeeping, okay? So if you are new to the Happy Hour Show, I need you to know that this is a personal development show all about helping you to grow emotionally, spiritually, mentally, all the things to help you personally develop, okay? So we are always dropping gems about life and about business. So make sure that you have your pen and paper handy because there's always some good notes to be had on the Happy Hour Show, all right? And if you are tuning in, then make sure that you comment, love, share this video out because, like I said, we're always dropping gems. And if you think it's fire, then I know somebody on your timeline is also going to need the gems that will be dropped on tonight's show. So if you're watching right now, you're watching live, then comment all the way live. And if you're catching the replay later on, you know we still got love for you. Comment replay all day, okay? Just either way, make sure you comment, love, share this video out. This is a conversation between myself, our beautiful guest, and you. So hopefully you have grabbed your drink and you are ready to join the chat. Now, if you're sitting there watching your TV screen and you're thinking, who in the hell is this lady talking to me? Well, my name is Lindsey Vertner, and I'm an award-winning peak potential strategist and transformational speaker. And listen, mindset is my whole entire jam, okay? That is my God-given purpose to help you learn how to master your mindset and increase your connections, your clarity, your cash flow, and your confidence. That is my mission. That's my purpose. All about helping you to live your first-class life, okay? But tonight's show isn't just about me. It is also about our very, very beautiful guest, and I'm super excited to bring her to the stage. So again, if you're tuned in, you already know what to do. Comment, love, share this video. Let us know where you're watching or listening from. And one more thing before I introduce her. I'm holding y'all in suspense, right? Make sure that you sign up for Happy Hour Show updates at bit.ly/happy updates so that you can stay tuned on all things happy hour. All right. Now, without further ado, allow me to introduce tonight's guest, Dr. Nakita Davis. She's an award-winning powerhouse speaker, a 10 times best-selling author, and she has a multiple six-figure girl boss company. She's an official Forbes for the Culture member, 2 times Presidential Service Award Recipient, and the AT&T Dream in Black Future Maker Inaugural Honoree. She has a long list of accolades, which I'm sure we will get into those once we get to chatting. She ignites others to soar like never before, always has exciting events, conferences, and retreats. She is a media mogul powerhouse, and she is here to pour into you tonight on the Happy Hour Show. So let's introduce Dr. Nakita Davis.
Woo! Queen.
Hey!
Trying to play a royal position. Thank you so much for having me, Lindsey. How are you, beautiful?
I am well. How are you doing? Thanks for coming to the show.
Yes, I am fantastic. Just living a super busy, crazy, dumb, amazing life. Trying to live my best blessed life is what I tell folks. Yo, it is real in these streets. You know, I tell folks all the time that, you know, they say they want this life, but it is a lot of work. You understand? We make it look good for Facebook, but it's real in the field. So you got to be ready. So I'm excited to be here with you, though.
Yes, we are glad to have you on this show. And I know I didn't even scratch the surface of all your accolades. I get just a little bit of your resume. But before we get into all of the phenomenal things you are doing right now, tell us, who is Dr. Nakita Davis? Like, take us back, peel back the curtains and tell us, who is she really?
Who is she really? Really, I'm just a child of God. I love the Lord with all my heart, all my soul, all that's within me. That's really at the crux of who I am. My faith, I am a hashtag Jesus girl. Look, if you do anything else, that's totally, look, that's your jam. I'm not knocking you, but as for me in my house, we will serve the Lord. It is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. There's no shame in my game. You know, I do not curtail or hide back from who I am and who he's called me to be, right? So I'm like one of those people, either you take it, you love it, or you leave it, and I'm cool either way. So that's me. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I've got two amazing kiddos, 13 and 4. My son just turned 4. So really, they're almost 10 years apart. So one boy, one girl. We've got a turtle pet named Speedy. He's the fastest turtle we know. And I just really live this life to empower other women to be great. Hey, queens, I see you. I see some of my queens popping up here on Facebook Life, right? And really, I'm just wanting to serve, right? That's really the heart that I have, is to give back to the community. And how I'm able to do that is to inspire, to be who God has called me to be, and really to empower other people to walk in their full potential. That's really the charge, the mission God has given me. And I try to do that, whether it be the books, whether it be the conferences, all that good jazz. It's really to inspire. It's really to push people to believe, to dream big, to step out on faith. I love to read. I love to write. I love to encourage. I love to do a little bit of shopping, you know, that type of thing. I'm a girly girl when it comes to that. But that's really who I am. I love to have fun, and I love to encourage and inspire. So that's the heart of me, without all the fancy smancy stuff in my resume, if that makes sense.
Yes. Now, when you were younger, did you know that you wanted to grow up and inspire people in the media and with your events and conferences? Like, what was your idea of who you were going to be when you were younger?
It's so crazy that you would ask that. I tell folks all the time, and a part of that inspiration, I tell them to dream or go back to your dreams from your youth. And when I think back to my youth, again, I always loved to read and write. So did I think I was going to be a publisher and being in the PR and media and marketing, that type of thing? No. Now, I did know I was going to be somebody fabulous. Now, let's just be real on that, because my mama always told me I could be anything that I wanted, that I could dream big. She always told me, honey, anything you want, you can have it, you can be it. And it wasn't because of our surroundings, because let's just keep it real. I grew up in the hood. Right. So, you know, that stereotypical thought process. Right. But I always knew we serve God. That was at the crux of our lives. My parents, they worked very, very hard, 2 and 3 jobs. So my work ethic, I definitely got that from them. Anybody who knows me, they will joke with me. You know, if they're pinging me typically at 2 or 3 in the morning, I'm probably still up. I'm probably working on a project, right? Hands up for the queens. You know, some people will try to shame us, you know, and I get the whole work-life balance, and I'm with that. But anybody who knows me knows I am a fond believer in striking while the iron is hot. You have to strike while the iron is hot. And right now, for a sister, the iron is, I mean, it's about to bust. And so therefore, I'm just like, it's on fire, Jesus. I got to take it. It's a fire, right? So to answer your question, it wasn't that I knew I was going to be a publisher and PR and having the opportunity to connect with celebrities and things of that nature, but I did know I was going to be something great. I did know that God was going to use me to inspire people. I just didn't know how, right? And then when I had the opportunity to think back to the gifts God gave me, it was reading and writing. I was the poet in the classroom. I was the person who loved to, you know, do really well in essays, or the teacher would ask me, oh, Nakita, go ahead and read, you know, your poem, or if you want to give your essay. And I never was shy, so I would do it. So it makes sense now in hindsight what I get to do, how I get to serve, because I was doing it when I was a child or when I was in high school. So it makes sense now. So yeah.
I think that's a good thing to point out to the viewers and listeners because, oftentimes our purpose leaves clues all around us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like if you stop and pay attention to the things that you do really easily, or the things that people often come to you about, and the joys from your childhood, like usually those are all clues that can lead you down the path towards identifying your purpose. And so with you understanding that you like reading and writing, and did you ever have a time where you weren't sure what your purpose was? Like you knew God was going to use you to inspire folks, but you just weren't really sure, like, is this my purpose? Is it not my purpose? Am I doing the right thing? Have you ever had a moment like that?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Queen. And I know this sounds like, okay, Queen. Okay, Queen. I can't really say that I've ever had a moment where I was just like, is this my purpose? Because this is what I believe. In Christ, because I'm a believer in him, in my faith, I believe that no matter which way I turn, whether I go to the left or go to the right, and I tell this to my queens, because I specifically in my purpose, he's called me to women. So let's be specific. And I love my fellas. I have a husband and I have a son, and they're kings too, right? But he's specifically given me a lane of brilliance with women. And with that, it doesn't matter if I go to the left or if I go to the right, God's hand is on it. So it's going to flourish anyway. And so because I had that concept in my head, I never felt like I was ever moving aimlessly. So when I was in the corporate field for 15 years, kind of giving my background there before I stepped into full-time entrepreneurship, I succeeded in that. I flourished in that. I moved very swiftly in that, and I did very well in that. You can go to my LinkedIn, as a matter of fact, the company that I used to work for 15 years, I had the opportunity. As a matter of fact, next week, the Stellar Awards will be airing in Alabama or in Huntsville, kind of like the replays. And I've been blessed to sponsor that. That'll be taking place in Huntsville, Alabama. And the previous corporation that I work for, they're also sponsoring it as well. They're like a Fortune top 9 organization. Well, they saw that I was sponsoring a portion of it, and they showed me love on Instagram. And it really did touch my heart because they gave a comment. I talked about my journey of how, I learned some things from them. But when it was time for me to walk away, I walked away, and now I have this successful business, and they really showed me love. Like this company, multiple billions of dollars, they've got hundreds of thousands of employees, but yet they saw fit to come to my page, like, love, leave a comment, and then they proceeded to like all the other people or show love to the other people who left comments. Like, we still believe in the vision from this employee who is no longer an employee. That meant a lot to me. It was like a full circle moment to say, you know what you did still inspires even them, even though you don't work for them anymore,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to leave that legacy. So I say that to say to any woman or man who's listening, whatever God has told you to do, it's still purposeful. You can't go wrong. As long as you're trusting him, then you're moving in the right direction. He's not going to let you fail because it's still going to be a part of the process. It's still going to be a part of the overarching plan that's going to be a part of what he wants you to do. And so we can't fail. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
I love that. Especially, playing your role and doing the best that you can in every role that you have, because you never know when those smaller roles are leading you to bigger roles. And so the fact that this company was showing you love just shows that you gave your all in the position when you were there.
Right.
And so now here you are, and your own businesswoman, like you said, not working for them anymore, but they're showing you love. And so I think, a lot of people these days, they'll go to their job, or, they don't really like their job or something like that. And, I'm just clocking in, counting down so I can clock out. And it's like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So how can you expect God to bless you at that next level when you aren't even showing up fully at your current level? Right?
Right, exactly. As a matter of fact, when I really knew that God had said it was time for me to make that shift, because if you ask anyone, say even 5 years ago, myself included, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, I would have told you I was the poster child for this particular company, really and truly. I was going to retire from this particular company was in my head, because I started before you could even legally drink at this particular company. That's how long, so I was like one of the youngest people at the company. And I thank God that was favor. And my mother told me, God rest her soul, she told me I had favor with that job. And I did, because most of the people were older than me. And even as I came up through the ranks in management, like when I left my role, all of my employees that reported to me were older than me. So, and that's not a bragging thing. It's just it's a God thing that he gave me positions of prominence to bring other people up, to lead them. I've always been in a Timothy type state of position where God gave me wisdom and discernment. And I pray for those two things every day, wisdom and discernment, so he can give me positions, not the power, but so I can have the power to help other people. And that's what I do. Anybody who follows my platform knows that I get in the door so I can take off the hinges and bring other people with me. I mean, that's just who I am. But trusting God, he will open the door for you, but you've got to be a good steward and faithful over the few things. So one of the things I began to do when I knew it was that time for me to make that transition, God was just putting that anchoring in my spirit, like you need to make that shift, like it's time for you to do your thing. I would begin to look at the company and say, you know what? I like that they're doing this. How can I apply this to my business? So, or if there was something I didn't like, instead of complaining and say, oh, they never get this right, how would I fix it as the entrepreneur? If this was my company, what would I change? And then institute that at Jesus Coffee and Prayer. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And we don't have to do the same thing. So I would challenge my business clients or my consulting, or the clients that I would consult in their PR strategies or in their speaker, author, girl boss business. How can you take the pieces that do work for your Fortune 500 company that you work for and apply it to your business? What pieces do you like? Apply it. The pieces that you don't, tweak it and apply it to your business. They haven't been in business for 100 years. If they don't know what they're doing, they must know something. I know you saying, oh, they stupid, I don't like them, the management suck. Well, they've been in business about 150 years, so it can't all suck. They're making money somewhere. They're making millions and billions somewhere. So I know that's how you feel, Queen, but something going right. They got you. You haven't left yet. I know you don't like them, but you're still there. So I'm saying. So that would be some advice I would give to your queens that may be watching.
Yes. Listen, because God's often preparing you for greater and bigger things. Mm-hmm. But like you said, we have to see, okay, they are doing some things right. So how can I apply those things to my business? Because most of us business owners and entrepreneurs, we don't start business to just turn around and be a slave to our business. Like, we want to do things better. And so oftentimes we don't treat it like those Fortune 500 companies, and we don't understand, like, why am I feeling burnt out? Why do I have all these ups and downs? Why am I constantly going through this? And it's like, well, you need to apply some of those same principles to what you do now and start running your business like a business.
That's so good. I tell my queens, my clients all the time, I said, look, if you want to start making bank like a Fortune 500 company, you're going to have to start treating your business like a Fortune 500 company, period. Is that going to happen overnight? Of course not. Of course, they've got other systems and partnerships and things in place, but start little by little. Yes, it takes time. Rome wasn't built overnight. But you can start to implement certain tools, tactics, and strategies to begin to treat your business as such. And I really strive to do that. Again, is it perfected? No. But there's certain things, again, to the point of me going back to the Stellar Awards. It was not just them leaving the comment, but it was the fact that here I am. I left them only 18, 20 months ago. I mean, at the top of 2020. And here we are both. The company I work for and my company, Jesus Coffee and Prayer, both sponsoring the Stellar Awards. That's like, I mean, it's okay. People ain't got to do whatever, but to me, that's dope. I'm sorry. I'm like, I put myself on the back, baby. Like, me and you, the company and me. Yes, God. Yes, Father. So that means a lot to me. And other opportunities are coming because of that, where people are reaching out to me because they're like, whoa, you're doing that on this level? Let me check you out. And I can look on my LinkedIn and see who's checking me out. Other producers and other executives are looking at my profile and they are reaching out to me and they are emailing me and wanting to see how we can connect and collaborate, because through the earwaves, they're hearing about this lady. Who is this lady? That's cool. Come and see. Taste and see that the Lord is good. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yummy, yummy.
Come on, somebody.
Yes. Taste and see that the Lord is good. All of it. If you are just tuning in, you are watching the Happy Hour Show with Lindsey Vertner. That's me, and our very beautiful guest, Dr. Nakita Davis. She is here with us. She is a publisher, a media and PR queen, and an influencer, and she's already been dropping gems. So you know what to do. If you're here, comment, love, share this video out. Make sure you engage in the conversation with us, because it ain't just me and her up here. It's me and her and you at home too. So leave your comments, leave your questions down below, and we might get to them if you get it in time, okay? But right now, I think that it is a great time for us to play a little game that I like to call What's in Your Cup, okay? So it's time for
What's in Your Cup?
Yes. If you're new to the show, this is the part of the show where we find out what's in your cup. So first, our lovely guest will share what she's sipping on. Give us a little cup cam. I'll share what I'm sipping on, and you at home put in the comments whatever it is in your cup that you're sipping on. And listen, hashtag no judgment zone. So whether you have a healthy drink or you got a little party in your cup, it is all right with us, okay? And if you unfortunately didn't grab your drink before this show, what were you thinking? But either way, it's okay. Put what you wish you were sipping on. So, Dr. Nakita, what's in your cup, girlfriend?
Well, normally there's some coffee in my cup, but right now, because see, you live in that fast life where sometimes you got to take care of hubby and kids, and you running from here to there and everywhere, and you just got to pick some up to feed these children. So I stopped at the good old folks, sponsored by the good old folks at can you see Cookout. They got me some of that sweet tea, baby. So I got me some sweet tea.
The sweet tea with a side of diabetes, that kind of
stuff. Come on, somebody. Sweet tea, baby. Yes, sweet tea. I'm from the South. It is so good. It is not the best for you, but it is hitting the spot in this moment. It's giving me some of that good juice, some of that good sugar that I need right here. You beautiful people out in the land of the internet land. Come on, somebody.
I love it. And we must have been on the same wavelength, because I am also drinking tea. Now, I'm drinking sweet tea like I normally would like to have, but I've been a little under the weather past few days. And so I have some lavender and chamomile tea with a little honey for that extra sweetness in my Be Happy mug here.
Oh, that's cute. I like that too. So I do hot tea as well, and I like the lavender, and I'll do the honey also. And I actually just really start drinking now. Sweet tea, been drinking sweet tea.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm from the South. We drink sweet tea, honey, with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, other people don't even understand. Like, what? My daughter, she trips me out because we've been traveling back and forth to Miami. Like, I have a second. So I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I have a second location for Jesus Coffee and Prayer in Miami. So I've been going there like every month, and we'll actually be there in next week for my Black, Bold, and Beautiful Girl Boss Weekend getaway. Hey, shameless plug.
Hey.
Yay. But when we go down there, my daughter's like, sweet tea, and they don't have any. And so they give her a bunch of Splenda packets, and she's like, oh no, this is horrible. And so she is like on this tea crusade to save the essence, to capture sweet tea, when we go to different places. She's like, they don't have real tea. Like, she feels like it's a shame that these places don't have real tea. So, but anyway, so I'm drinking sweet tea today, and normally it is coffee, but sweet tea is on the books for me today. Yes.
Listen, your daughter is cool with me if that's how she feels about sweet tea. Yes. So let's get back into this discussion. I know you've talked about where you were previously and, just doing that with excellence and how they are now giving you your accolades, even though you're no longer with them. And so I did want to ask you one more question about that. Whenever it was time for you to leave, did you have any fears or apprehensions that you had to get over in, walking away from corporate and moving into full-time entrepreneurship, being a business owner full-time? Because even though as business owners and entrepreneurs, we can know that God is leading us in a different direction, that doesn't mean that it's not fearful. So did you ever have any fears that you had to overcome when you were making that transition?
So great question. And this is the honest to God answer. And I know what people expect to hear, but I just have to be truthful. And for me, really, there was no apprehension. But here's why. Because 10 years prior, I had participated in entrepreneurship. People don't know. Back in the day, I used to be a personal trainer. And I had a personal trainer. I had my own little gym. It was called Fantasy Fitness. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. And so I was working with the organization then as well. I mean, and it had gotten so good. I had dropped like 70 pounds, right? And so my coworkers, right, when people see what you do, this is why when you do your thing with excellence, you're your best testimony. And so when they saw me losing all the weight, Nakita, how did you lose the weight? How did you XYZ? And they knew that I didn't have gastrics. They knew that I didn't do anything, cosmetic to get it done. They knew I was getting off of work, working out. I was posting on social media. They would see that. And so people wanted to work out with me. It started off with them coming to my community, to my HOA. We would run and walk in my parking lot. And then finally, my brain has always been savvy. Now, mama's always about a coin. Don't play with it, okay? God has given me both. I love him, and he's helped me to secure the bag always.
Okay.
Come on, somebody, don't play. You can love the Lord and love that he's giving you a resource and an ability to secure the coin, the bag, okay? That part, okay? And so I was like, okay. And I got my first client to do training with me. And then I got certified. And next thing you know, I had my own studio. Well, it got to the point where I was literally working. It felt like day and night. I would work my job still at the same corporation we're talking about. And then as soon as I would get off of work, my studio was right around the corner because I kept it convenient, because I knew when they would get off of work, they would want to come straight to me because I had built my clientele up. They were coming to me. They were losing weight, inches off their waist, honey. They knew I didn't play. Very strategic with it. But I was working day and night. Literally get up at 5 a.m. People would come and work out with me in my community because we had like the fitness community in the gym. Go to work, get off of work, and then they would come to the studio. So I was getting home 9, 10 o'clock at night, and then getting back up at 5. I was burnt out. I was burnt out because I was trying to do both. When I was like, Lord, I can't do both. And so I gave up the studio because even though it was good money, it didn't replace my income. And I was just like, I can't do both. And so at that time, I gave it up. But in that moment, I said, Lord, if you ever give me, it was my promise to God. I said, if you ever give me an opportunity in entrepreneurship where you have clearly put your hand on it to flourish, I will not choose the company over the gift, over the thing you have told me to do. I said this. You understand me?
Yes.
Years later, so when the opportunity of Jesus Coffee and Prayer and how it was flourishing and every book we touched started turning to bestsellers, and it was clear, it was evident that God's hand, everything I was touching was turning to bestsellers and success and conferences and all this, and I was still working with the company. Again, here I was again, up all the time, working my job full time and with the company. Here we are, Lord. I'm going to make true on what I told you 10 years ago. So when that opportunity came, it was a wrap. So no, to answer your question, it was not this thing of, oh, no, because I already told him and he set it up. So when it was time, I did. Boom.
Listen.
That's it. It's a wrap.
That part. Okay.
That part. So no, I was not afraid.
I think that is a great point that I want to make sure the viewers and listeners caught at home, because when you talk to God to involve him in your plans rather than inform him of your plans, you don't have any reason to be fearful. And that was a perfect illustration of you doing just that. So when it came time for you to pivot and go in a different direction, you didn't have any fears because you involved him from the very
From
beginning.
the jump, 21 Jump Street. Come on, y'all remember that show, 21 Jump Street? Okay, maybe you might be too, I don't know who's too young, but anyway, okay, go ahead.
Yes. If you are just tuning in, you are watching the Happy Hour Show with Lindsey Vertner. That's me, and our very beautiful guest, Dr. Nakita Davis. She is a media mogul, and she is an influencer, and she is here with us today. So, before we switch gears and talking about all the amazingness that you are doing right now, what advice would you give to the viewer or listener that's watching right now at home about trying to find their purpose and really follow where God is leading them? What advice would you give them?
I'm going to say, two things that, again, and I stated it earlier on, but that I really live by. Wisdom and discernment. I pray for those two things like clockwork. It's so important to me because, people will pray for the blessings. They'll pray for the resources. They'll pray for the manna or whatever it is. Oh, I want the connection, Lord. I need the money, Lord. I want the job, Lord. They'll pray for the thing. And that's cool. But what happens when God gives it to you and you don't know what to do with it? Right? That's like me praying for the husband, or if it's a man, praying for the wife, and you get the good girl, or you get the good man, or you get the children that you've been praying for, but now you don't know how to raise them. Now you don't know how to treat the good man. You don't know how to treat the good wife. You don't know, you got that $1 million house you want, but now you don't know how to keep it up. Now you don't know how to steward the job. Now you don't know how to be a good or effective leader. Now what? So praying for the wisdom and discernment means when you get that thing, because you're being diligent and faithful over a few things, you'll know what to do with it. You'll be able to execute on the thing that God has given you. So I pray for it every day. When I say every day, before I pray for my children, before I pray for my husband, I pray for wisdom and discernment. I do pray for them every day, but I pray for that because what is it for me to pray for them? And I don't know how to steward what I need to do as a wife, as a mom. I hope y'all picking up what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you is, you know how to handle what God has given you. If he's giving me an overflow and blessing, but I don't know how to steward it, then I'm just going to lose it. It's just going to fall through my hand. Right? And that's even worse. For him to give it to you, get the house, and then it's gone in 6 months because you didn't pay the property tax. You get the good husband or you get the good wife, if the gentlemen are watching this, and you lose her because you didn't know how to treat her. You get the good job, you get the promotion, yay. And now you're fired because you did something that was indiscretion because you didn't know how to steward the position or whatever it was. Like, that's even more so. You'd rather not even have it because that's going to hurt even more, like a dagger, like a knife, because you had it and you didn't know how to keep it. You understand? You didn't know, and I don't even want to keep it. I want to flourish it. I don't even want to keep it. Anything God gives me, I want to flourish it. People want to just get it. I don't want to just get it. Because you're just like the man with the talents. He gave it to him. He doesn't want it the same. When God gives it to me, I need to give it back to him tenfold. And I believe he continues to bless me in overflow because I'm a good steward of what he gives me. So therefore, when you see my timeline and it looks like, I'm not bragging. It's just like, this is what God has given me. It's an overflow. Sometimes I'm like, Lord, I'm not putting this out today because like, this girl over here is just out here trying to stunt. Like, she's just out here. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna slow release the winds. So nobody be over here like, Nakita.
Listen,
Jesus.
If they got a problem with all the ways that God is blessing you, then that sounds like a personal problem, okay?
Slow releasing Jesus, like a time capsule. Slow release the winds, Jesus. Because I want them to be encouraged. Not to be, no, that sounds horrible. Not to be like me, but to thank God and say, man, if anything, I want you to say, if he did it for her, my God, he can do it for me. And he can. Mm-hmm. He can and he will. Maybe not the same exact thing, but he can and he will if you're seeking first his kingdom and his righteousness, if your heart is pure for the reason why you're doing it, that's a big part, and nobody can see. It doesn't matter what I say. He checks purity. Okay.
Right.
I mean, I'm not the validator, honey. I can't validate you, and you can't validate me. But he can. He can validate that heart. And if it's pure and the reason why you're doing it, then he's going to make sure it flourishes. And if it's not, he also going to make sure that it doesn't, or only for a short period of time. So yeah. So that's my answer.
That was a great answer. And hopefully the viewers and listeners caught all of those gems. If not, make sure you go back and watch the replay at the end of the show, okay? Because that was some good stuff. And I think that just falls right in line with everything that we've been talking about already so far, about doing what you do in excellence, even when it's in the smaller roles, or even when it's not where you want to be right now, still showing up and doing them in excellence, because you don't know what that's preparing you for. And I love that you say that you pray for wisdom and discernment every single day, because I'm sure we've seen that lots of times where they got the house and then lost it, or they had the good person and then lost it, and whatever other things. They've had the business and then lost it, or next thing you know, it's like, hey, wait, wasn't you just doing this, but now you're doing this, and then you're doing that, and now you're doing that, like, what do you do, type of thing. And so
it's a lot of that going on, but that's a whole nother, we didn't even have time for that, Lindsey. Stop it. Stop cussing.
I didn't say nothing. But flourishing in where you are now, and when you involve God from the beginning, he will make sure that it flourishes. I just love all of those points that you brought up there. And so now, I know you've been doing all your blessings, all the blessings you've been receiving in what you do, and do it well. And I know you mentioned you're from the hood, okay? So what mindset shift did you have to make? Because, coming from the hood to a place of wealth and abundance, that can be a big jump. And I know from experience what that looks like. And so what mindset shifts did you have to make to know that, all right, my current reality is not my future reality, and how am I going to get that?
That is so good. And I will tell you, that is still a work in progress. And it's funny because my husband and I, we joke about that. I mean, even as of just a few months ago, because as God is elevating us, and this is no braggadocious type thing, and we have not yet arrived by any means, and there are people that are doing way greater. So this is no comparison thing, but we thank God and he gets all the glory. But even as of recent, within the last few months, there are things that have taken place that we've never experienced before. Like you have to be there to be there. You understand? Mm-hmm. Or opportunity, not just the opportunity, but to be in those positions. For example, and I've shared this, I had the opportunity, of course, to work with Dr. Sherwood and Les Brown for the You Are Enough campaign. And with that, when we had that campaign, I remember I was in Miami and I had flew in, and a part of what me talking about that was I had took my husband and kids for Father's Day to Miami, and we had all flew first class. Well, that was the first time, not that I had flown first class, but the first time my whole family flew first class. And so that was just on whole. And again, to somebody else, maybe it means nothing, and that's fine. But for me and my Black family, because I am a Forbes the Culture member. And so I love everybody. Of course I do. But it hits different for me. And maybe for somebody else, it don't. But for me, as an African-American woman, and I have an African-American husband and 2 Black children, boy and girl, to have us all on the plane in first class, it meant something. And it particularly was right after our new president had signed the bill commemorating Juneteenth being an official holiday. And so we all had on Black T-shirts and all of that, and we were in first class. And so again, to somebody else, it might not mean anything, but that was different, right? So even, the luggage with that. I mean, again, this may be materialistic to some, but it meant something to us. And it's a little nuances. It's like, they say the devil's in the details. It's the details of life. Even the way, not that it's about money, But we notice, and we'll have these conversations in our home, how people treat you, how they talk to you in different settings. I'm talking about in corporate settings. It should not be. So even when they treat us well, of course, we expect that. But we have conversations. Wow, why did they treat us so well? I know why, right? But how can we change that to where everyone is being treated this way? It shouldn't be just because we did A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You understand? Because we're very much for equality. So is my husband. So just having the opportunity, you know, we're looking at some particular homes and things like that, just some shifts, but just even to be able to look at those homes and know, whereas before it's like, oh yeah, it's almost like, remember when you were a kid, and this might not be you, Lindsey, but I know for me and my husband too, because we grew up in the same neighborhood, we're childhood sweethearts. Yeah. And so as a kid, I remember even with my sister, where we would be in the car and be like, oh, that's my car. Oh, that's gonna be my car. So maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm the little kid, little black kid from the hood that we used to play that.
We did that too.
You know, I don't care.
When we would play MASH. Did you play MASH?
Oh yeah, I play MASH. Okay, cool. Okay, we here. Okay, Makita Davis. Hey. So, but to be in a position where it's like, wow, we're looking at XYZ home, and to know like that's a real possibility. We're not looking at the home to say, ooh, maybe one day, but like, no, like we can call the realtor, and if that's what we want to do, we can make that move. And it's like, God, I thank you. So that's what I mean by those shifts. And even from a business perspective, you have to make a shift from being an employee of how you would move. For example, and I'll drop this nugget and I won't take long, but as an employee thought process, you didn't want to get into debt at all. They tell you, clear your debt, honey, clear your debt. You don't want no debt. And so I prided myself on that. I would buy stuff, cash money, buy stuff, furniture. honey, oh, that furniture's paid for, boo. Honey, furniture paid, pay, boop. That's not building my credit.
Right.
Right. You see what I'm saying? That's not doing anything to truly help me build. Maybe cash is king in that place, but we know credit is power. That's really the power. And so I'm cash rich, but credit poor in that concept. But then from a business standpoint, these juggernaut companies, they may have billions of dollars, but they still leverage other people's credit. And so I had to shift from that. Whereas in my company in the beginning, it was like, oh no, honey, I only use my money, only my cash. Well, wait a minute, you're reducing your cash flow, Nakita. But I had to learn that. That took time. I mean, you know, again, it's only been a few years, but still, but I had to shift that. That was, you know, I'm not trying to call anybody poor or rich or whatever, but I had to shift that poverty mindset, which was the mindset that was given in my youth from, oh, you got your income tax? Let's just keep it 100. You got your income tax? That's when we get the car. You got your income tax? Oh, we buying a whole new furniture set.
Yes.
So the thought process was, I have a large sum of money, buy it out. As versus, let's build my credit, make payments on time. So I had to transition that from that employee impoverished mindset to building credit to build wealth. So therefore, I can build abundance and wealth for my kids and also in my business. And so now I have business credit. Not only am I increasing my personal credit, which is now having me the ability to look at homes that before I wouldn't even blink at, but now I'm also building my business credit where I'm able to leverage that to increase my profitability in my business. This is how you treat your business like a Fortune 500. What? Okay. I'm about to have some workshops and stuff. Y'all better get connected, Queen. I'll put you on, boo. Okay.
Yes. I love it. So tell us, I know we've mentioned a few things here and there, but tell us about what are some of the amazing things you are doing in your business right now. I know you have the Black, Bold, and Beautiful that's coming up here in Miami, which I know will be absolutely amazing. You just sponsored for the Stellar Awards. Just let them know a little something.
So So a little something, and she really touched on it. I'm super excited about that. That will be the 19th through the 22nd for the Black, Bold, and Beautiful. Just some amazing powerhouses. You can go to my page at Jesus Coffee and Prayer. That really is already sold out, but still follow that movement just because it's all about empowering women of color, specifically African-American women, to be Black, to be bold, and to be beautiful. You already know the stats. We've been under marginalized, haven't had the resources, things of that nature. So we need to know that your Black is beautiful. We can come together, synergies and energies, 6 and 7 figure earners, and we're just going to live it up, boss it up, have an amazing time, give God the glory. But there'll be more to come from that. So don't worry. If you missed the first one, don't even worry. We already working on something, queen. So get connected with that. Stellar Awards, of course. So, of course, the original one aired on BET, I think, on August the 1st. I've been blessed with presenting 7 presentations of the replay through Huntsville, Alabama, which airs August the 15th. I'm super excited about that. So that's getting ready to take place in 3 days. So be on the lookout for that. And then I've got some commercial deals that are taking place. So if you're in the Atlanta area, in the A, then you'll be seeing hopefully my pretty little face popping up on your television screen here shortly in the next few days. So I'm excited about that. Also partnering with Dr. Cheryl Wood. I'm super excited for SpeakerCon. I'm one of her amazing platinum sponsors. She's got 2. So me and there's one other individual, and I apologize, I don't know who they are off the top of my head. So I will be with her in November for the gala. I'm excited. Helping sponsor that event, and also in the book, and we'll be stepping on stage for that. There's so many things, y'all. I can't keep track. You just have to follow me at Jesus Coffee and Prayer. Oh, we just had an opportunity, which was super exciting. We're the women from the Black, Bold, and Beautiful. We kind of got behind the scenes with a young lady. You may know her by the name of Jennifer Hudson.
Okay.
Just a couple days ago, praise God, where we were behind the scenes with her. It was a conference call, but it was still fabulous. And we got to connect with some of the power players from that and just really hear her take on Aretha Franklin's, her playing Aretha Franklin for the movie that drops tomorrow. Respect, honey. So just talking about her role and how Aretha Franklin handpicked her, honey. When you are handpicked, when you are chosen, baby, she chose her. And she wanted to play that role. That was something that was in her heart. And she actually helped co-produce that. So to have that unique opportunity, you know, I tell folks all the time, PR matters. If you don't have a publicist or someone in the PR industry, it doesn't have to be me, even though shameless plug, reach out to a queen if you're serious, but consider that. One thing I have found, especially for my African-American queens, they're amazing. They're didactic. They're in the corporate field. They're speakers. They're authors. They're girl bosses. But they struggle either A, with getting the correct, appropriate visibility, or maybe they do get visibility. And that's more of what I've been seeing here recently. They are getting visibility. They are stepping on stages. But now they're struggling with monetizing that visibility or monetizing that authority and credibility. So they are visible. People love them. People see them as the authority. People see them as credible. Like you're awesome. So why is that not translating to dollars? The dollars that you deserve. I'm not talking about that you don't get a client here or there, but if you are truly visible, you're truly stepping on stages, crushing it. You're truly writing best-selling books, and on this program, this platform, TV show, coaching, you're doing all of this. Why are you really not getting paid the way that you should? I'm just saying. And if you're not,
now you cussing at folks.
I know I'm cussing because they don't want to hear it, and I love them. Now I'm just saying. So that's the way I look at things. So there's 2 subsets. It's one that doesn't understand that they need that, or they are getting that, and that seems like that's what I've been running into more recently, more frequently here in the last 60, 90 days. Women who are doing that, which is great, but they're still not eating from the fruits of their labor the way they should, if that makes sense, right? Absolutely. So it's like you're spinning wheels. It's great. You have a lot of fans, but you don't have a lot of people paying. And so we need to change that. And so what I do is help queens to leverage that visibility, that authority, that good credibility, and let's leverage that and turn it into dollars, right? Let's make it make sense, because otherwise you're going to continue to do what you do, but eventually you're going to feel burnt out, and you're going to probably either stop or something else is going to take place because you're going to feel discouraged. Like, man, I'm spinning on my wheels, but I'm not making any money, not the money that I deserve from what I'm pouring out. So I do that.
We don't want you to be popular but not paid.
Right.
You don't want to be busy but broke.
Come on. I did I had that opportunity. I forget the name of the stage because, glory to God, I've had opportunities up on quite a few this year. But I did that. I said, sis, pretty and popular. Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it, but it was pretty and popular and cute. I said, look, stop it. Pretty and popular and cute. Like, everybody liking, they commenting, they sharing. But are they sharing? Because if they really believe in what you're saying, then they should be able to show you the receipt. They should be willing to swipe the card with you.
Yes.
If they really believe in the mission and the vision, and you're transforming lives the way that you say, and you have a real product and a real service that does that, then we got to pinpoint what the problem is, and let's fix it real quick and put a bow on it so that you're consistently getting paid.
Yes. So good.
Yes. Oh, and let me say this. I am doing a book tour. So yay. October is National Book Month. Yeah. So all my book lovers and all of my best-selling authors, if that's something you're interested in, hey, reach out to a queen. I can.
Where can they sign up for the book tour?
Yeah, absolutely. They can I can drop my link somewhere in here, or come back to it and drop it. There's actually a link that they can come to, so they can actually be a part of it if they choose to. There's several different options. We'll have panels, interviews, all that good jazz. And even if you're an entrepreneur, maybe you want to promote your book, or you've got a new course, something engaging with the folks, then you'll have that opportunity too. So there's several ways for you to get in on the fun, and it will go out to a global audience. It'll still be virtual this particular time, but it's going down in October if you want to participate in that. Our last annual book tour, we had almost 50,000 virtual attendees across the globe. So when we do it, it goes down. So you will period. Yes. So that's what I can think of off the top of my head. It's probably something else, but honey, go to my page, Jesus Coffee and Prayer, because I can't think of it all.
Listen, I love it. And so I have a question that I have to ask all of my happy hour guests, because I'm all about creating your first class life. What does that mean? That means you're intentional about the quality of life you're creating for yourself. You're intentional about walking in your God-given purpose and creating that living legacy. You're intentional about the happiness that you create in each and every moment. You're intentional about shedding away those masks that we put on every day. You know the ones I'm talking about. Those masks of fear, doubt, shame, guilt, and all the other masks we put on when we wake up in the morning. Shedding those away and showing up boldly and authentically as who you are and who God called you to be, flaws and all. So my signature question that I must ask you, beautiful, is how do you intentionally create happiness in your life?
Ooh, intentionally create happiness. Well, Jesus, coffee. I mean, really, really and truly, I was very intentional about naming my company that, because it is the name of my very first book. But my very first book was not named that originally. Like, I changed it in the 12th hour. It was called Attitude of Gratitude. But then it was like God came to me almost like Pavlov's bell and was like, Nakita, when you wake up every morning, you start off with, I spend my time with Jesus. I grab my coffee and I have prayer. Like, that's how I intentionally start my day. That's how I start with my joy. That's how I get my peace. That's how I focus and shift my day. So to be intentionally happy, to start with the flow so I can serve my customers, my clients, so I can be a boss, so I can be the wife I need to be, the mom I need to be, who I need to be to Nakita. I start off with that foundation of Christ, my coffee. Hey, I'm just saying. At least I put Jesus first. I go coffee, Jesus, prayer. You know what I'm saying? And the times, Lord, I went to the coffee first, God, you were still in my heart first. You were still in my heart first. I'm just saying, but so it's no pun intended, and that really isn't a plug, but literally that is how I start my day. Like I strive to before, even if it's a fast-paced day where, and my son just turned 4, so he still have his moments where he might scream or do something crazy and quonky. Before my feet hit the floor, I really do try to at least say, Lord, thank you. At least if that's all I got before I got to run out the door. Lord, thank you for today. Boom. Mm-hmm. I mean, now I try to go deeper than that, y'all.
Yeah.
But you have those days. That's real talk. Like we have to stop being this fake. What everybody, every day I fall fresh and I'm perfect. Every day that sounds great. And that would be in a perfect world if like life wasn't happening every single day. It's just not real. Every day. But I do try to take that pregnant pause, to let the Lord know I love him. I get my coffee, I pray, I take that moment to collect my thoughts. That is how I'm intentional about my happiness, which truly I'm talking about my joy. And the world didn't give it to me. And guess what, baby? They can't take it away. I won't get it. It's not for sale. Come on. And they do try to take it. They try. Oh, but they can't have it over here, baby. Mm-hmm. No, ma'am.
No weapon formed against you shall prosper.
No, it won't. Oh, they tried. Can't get it. Won't give it to them.
I love it. If you are just tuning in, you done missed it, okay?
You done blew it.
Top of the hour. And like I said, make sure you go back and watch the replay, catch all the nuggets and gems that Dr. Nakita dropped for you all. She poured into you and gave you lots of things to simmer on while you spending your own time with Jesus and with your coffee, having your prayer time, okay? So make sure you comment, love, share this video out. Make sure you sign up for updates at bit.ly/happy updates so that you can stay updated on all things Happy Hour Show. And get this, when you're on the VIP list, sometimes our happy hour guests give you a happy hour special, okay? But only if you're on the VIP list. So Dr. Nakita, tell the folks how they can connect with you, where they can sign up for all of your amazing events that are coming up. Let them know.
Yes. So the best way to be in the know is to follow me at Jesus Coffee and Prayer. That's Jesus Coffee. Spell out the word and A-N-D prayer. That's on Facebook. That's on Instagram. My website is jesuscoffeeandprayer.com, or you can email me at info@jesuscoffeeandprayer. I try to keep it as simple as possible, right? So if you're interested really in anything, if you just say, hey, sis, I want to get connected. I want to be in the know. I've got so many things going on. One of the things, and matter of fact, I'm going to say this super quick. I have a Women Win Tribe, which is really about you being super duper in the know. Like when I have opportunities, like the Jennifer Hudson opportunity that literally came to me, because in Jesus' name, I am connected with some prominent things that be popping off. Okay. Well, queens who are connected in my tribe, they found out. And for the few spots that I had, they were connected and they had that opportunity. There's some other things coming down the pike. Some of my queens already connected. They're already on the list. They're not just on the list. They're on the VIP. So while other people are trying to get in, they skipping the line. Their name is at the door just to come on in the door. So I'm saying, okay? Get connected. Follow at Jesus Coffee and Prayer, Facebook, Instagram. Send me a DM, email me. We can get you connected. We'll get you in where you fit in. And let's see how we can have a budding relationship. Help you, help me, help the kingdom, and get you where you need to be.
Yes, you heard it here, folks. So follow. Now they got all country and egg. Follow girl. Follow Dr. Nakita Davis at www.nakita JesusCoffeeandPrayer.com. Make sure you're spelling the "and" out. And I love consistency. I love it. I love it. I love it. Because also on Facebook and Instagram, you will find her at Jesus. Viewers and listeners, as we wrap up this episode of the Happy Hour Show.
Oh, I'm sorry, love. I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry, Queen. Could you say that one more time? I did not hear you, my love. It kind of froze just for 1 second there.
Yeah,
it didn't want us to
it's
be
okay.
great.
I noticed there was some
we're great anyway.
Technical difficulties.
That's all right. It didn't want us to be great, but we're great anyway. So whatever. But I'm sorry. What you say it one more time?
I said, do you have any final words of advice or wisdom for the viewers and listeners?
Yes, I would definitely say to you, whatever it is God has put in the pit of your belly, let it come out. Let it come forth.
Look, that ain't nothing but the enemy, okay? But he knew better than to try and mess us up the whole way through, and he waited to the very end because he knew we was on the right side of the law, right?
That's it. That's it.
So there you go.
Okay, so look, I'm gonna make it super quick. Look, go be great. Do what God has called you to do. Be what He's called you to be. Stop playing small. Stop playing scared. Even if you're scared, do it anyway. God is on your side. If He's for you, who cares who is against you? Find you some good folk to be around you, to lift you up. You lift them up. Praise God and go and get this bag. How about that? That's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna stick to it. Queen, play your royal position. Come on, somebody.
Yes, and on that, you heard her drop the mic. Make sure you sign up for updates at bit.ly/happy updates so that you can stay tuned and updated on all things Happy Hour Show. And we are here every single Tuesday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern with some bonus Thursdays like today. Season 3 ends at the end of September. So make sure you get on it. Go back and watch the replays of all the episodes that you missed. And with that, I pray you many, many blessings and abundance. See you on Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.